Welcome back to 10 Minutes with Kuhle, and today I'm speaking to you out of the office. Now, today's story is a perfect example of how South African politicians say one thing to the poor and live another life entirely. Now, this week's story takes us to the ANC in the Eastern Cape after they rejected an EFF motion that called for medical aid and pension benefits for traditional leaders. Yes, traditional leaders, the same people government relies on to mobilize communities, keep peace in rural areas, and maintain cultural governance, according to the ANC's perception of traditional leaders. Now, they were told, no, you don't deserve decent healthcare or retirement security. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not here to say that traditional leaders should be getting medical aid of our taxpayers' money, but I'm just here to say, well, if you as a member of parliament who does little to nothing for your constituencies, and here's a traditional leader who does something, why do you deserve the medical aid? Now, here's where it gets interesting. After rejecting the motion, the ANC caucus issued an apology saying, and I quote, "To the extent that our decision caused any hurt or misunderstanding, we apologize." You can't make this stuff up. In other words, sorry you noticed. But let's be honest. This isn't about a misunderstanding. It's about privilege. Politicians sit in parliament with top-tier medical aid. They enjoy private hospitals, executive checkups, and world-class health care, paid for by our taxes. Meanwhile, the same government tells everyone else to use crowded, overcrowded, not just crowded, overcrowded clinics and underfunded hospitals where you can wait hours just to be told there's no doctor on duty, where foreign nationals get beds before local citizens, where South African women give birth on the floor because we are living in a state of poorest health care. So when the EFF said, let's give traditional leaders medical aid too, the ANC said, no, Jose. But think about the message that sends. It's not just rejecting a motion. It's, in a way, going back to the old animal farm story. Some animals are more equal than others. It's rejecting fairness. If public health care was truly good enough, why do our ministers, premiers, and MPs never use it? Why do their families give birth in private hospitals, recover in private wards, and to top it all off, in some cases, especially ANC politicians, fly abroad for medical procedures, while ordinary South Africans die waiting for ambulances, especially in the Eastern Cape, where they called this bicycle an ambulance? We're told to trust the system, but the truth is they don't even trust it themselves. Now, here's the hypocrisy. Government says it's building an equal healthcare system under the new NHI law that was signed into place earlier this year. Yet, in practice, they protect their own benefits while everyone else gets the leftovers. Traditional leaders are there. Yes, you've got your Mrs. Zulus of this world too. I tend to disagree. Why must they be living off our taxpayers' money? But I somewhat do acknowledge the role they play in society, which seems to be better than those of politicians. They serve in remote communities, often in areas with the weakest public infrastructure. When they fall sick, they face the same collapse in clinics the rest of us do. But the politicians who claim to represent them, they're covered by GEMS. That's the Government Employees Medical Scheme, one of the best medical aids in the country. So my saying to you is, sorry, there's this fly that's bothering me. As I did say, I'm outside by the dry stand area, not in the office. But as I was saying, so it's private hospitals for us, for them rather, public suffering for us. This story also exposes something deep about South African politics. The ruling class has built a two-tier system, not just in healthcare, but in education, and opportunity. Now, everyone thinks the elite class is or are white people. And I'm here to tell you that is wrong. The elite class is the politician themselves. The elite class insulates itself from the failures it creates. They don't experience load shedding. They have generators. They don't queue for water. They have boreholes. They don't rely on SAPS. They have bodyguards because they are politicians. They have the SAPS guarding them. If you didn't know, the bodyguards are the same SAPS instead of guarding us, the community. On top of that, they hire private security to guard their houses. And when it comes to healthcare, they'll tell you the public system is improving while checking into Mediclinic the next morning, while people can't access a simple tablet such as paracetamol. If our leaders had to use the same hospitals as the people they govern, the healthcare crisis would end in a month. So here's the takeaway. This isn't just about the EFF's ridiculous proposal for private healthcare and pensions for the traditional leaders. It's about how the system protects itself. When those in power keep good stuff for themselves, they have no incentive to fix what's broken. Until politicians are forced to use the same public hospitals, same schools, same police stations, and same roads the people they serve, nothing will change. Now, that's it for this week's, not for this week, sorry, I've not made a video in quite a while, but that's it for today's episode of 10 Minutes with Kuhle. Because the simple truth is you can't fix what you don't experience. And South Africa's political elite, they live in a different country entirely. This has been 10 Minutes with Kuhle. If you enjoy the content we put out, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps in pushing out those numbers. The least you can do is just to click on that subscribe button. As well as, if you do love the content we produce, please do buy me a coffee. It really helps because it's tedious making these videos while I've got my other daily duties to take care of. But it's important to share the truth. So let's keep the truth burning by supporting the truth, which is simply by subscribing and sharing this video. Till next time, Shabbat Shalom, my good friends.